I just wit, he won't not you niggy. My name's Bill Bertschy. I'm from the Coast Salish tribe of the Sliammon Band. I carry about 3 names. I carry a name that's called Ukchahotask Mayo Mayo. Which translation is you're always lost in the fog. Or you are lost in the fog. And then I carry Standing Bear. Chief Standing Bear, and then I also carry Chief Thunderbird Man name. So I carry them 3 names. So the spirits of the world, that's what they know me by. The different tribes, like the Lakotas know me as Standing Bear. The Cree knows me as Chief Thunderbird Man, and my reserve knows me as Ukchahotask Mayo Mayo. So that's I'm a common man. I can't speak for all natives. I can only speak for my perceptions of what we're doing here today and what we're going to try to accomplish on getting some words out. Life and death. There's really no such thing as death. Right now, we're just a spiritual being trying to be human. Chief White Cloud, he always had t-shirts like that, or a hat, or something like that, all the time, It's like, yeah, just a spiritual being trying to be human. And that's the hard thing, How do we be human properly? How do we be human in the natural world? If you quiet yourself, you'll meet the people that you're supposed to meet that you've been with in a long time. Like I have two real good friends. We've known each other for millions and millions of years. And as soon as we run into each other again, it's like, wow, We're the best of buds again. We know each other. We can look at each other and finish each other's sentences, and stuff like that. And it's really amazing to have that spiritual connection still. Monks. I know my past 7 lives, and the Tibetan monks. When we can be walking down the street, even in Vancouver or Toronto or something, and on each side of the street, across a busy street, and we'll still feel each other. I don't know why I have that connection still with that Tibetan monk. But we'll just look around, we'll finally spot each other, and we'll smile, and sometimes we'll actually wave, and I've never seen that person in this lifetime, or busy street, and just stop and looking around. Pretty soon you look around, that other person stops, and he's looking around too, and we'll spot each other. So, there is no such thing as death in the natural world, I would say. The natural order of things. The spiritual laws. The spiritual laws are ones that you need to learn. When it comes to animals and stuff, and we go out hunting and stuff, they're here. They're here to help us. They're here to help us maintain our life, maintain our humanness. They sacrifice themselves. They'll sacrifice themselves for the better good of things, just like a sun dancer or a ghost dancer. We sacrifice ourselves, for the better good. The old elders, they say, when you're out with the caribou and stuff, their song is mm, mm, mm. And that song, when they're grunting and walking, we call it a song, and it's their song is, "We're here to feed the people. We're here to clothe the people." But you got to listen to it. You got to listen to them, and they're singing the song. And the bear, he'll sing a song too. They'll chatter their teeth at you, and they'll growl at you. They'll leave marks for you on trees and stuff. So you got to wake up to things. Okay, I'm here. I'm here to help the people. It's just like a sun dancer. A sun dancer will sacrifice no food, no water, and pierce, and pray in the hot sun and stuff. We're sacrificing ourselves. We're in the spirit world. We're in the natural world. And that's all the animals. They're there too, The plants, they sacrifice themselves. They come back every year. Every spring they come back out, to help you, to help the people. When you hunt, you do it in honor. Like sometimes I'll do sweat lodges before I hunt. We'll always pray. We'll always pray and put tobacco out before we hunt. A lot of times, I don't even call it hunting. I'll go out there. I've gone out there with a gun and just sat against a tree and took a nap. And when I wake up, there's the deer or the bear or whatever I was after. I don't go out chasing things and think I have to track it. No, I pray hard and I ask for it. Ask for it to help the people. And they come and they sacrifice themselves, and that's the natural spiritual order or natural spiritual world. The world we live in is so fast. To me, if you ever see a highway and you see the heat waves coming off of it and they're shimmering like that back and forth as you're driving down the road, that's the natural world. That's the way I see the world all the time, is that shimmering. That's the spirit world. The one the world that the Creator made for us. And that's the world that we all need to get back to. To where we can talk with the animals and they talk to us and we understand them and we're not separated. That's the sad part. We separate ourselves so much from the natural world, from the spiritual world, the spirit world, We have to learn to overcome that. A bear will give its life, a deer will give its life, caribous give their lives, moose, birds, We think we need to try to control it, or we think we need to try to hoard it, when we don't. There's enough for everybody. There's enough for everything. That's the way the world was created. We stepped away from that. The abundance of it. If you sit and listen, like there's that raven out there talking now. They come up. I fed them grapes. They'll eat grapes and popcorn out of my hand. Ravens will just fly down. They'll just sit there and eat grapes and popcorn, And that's the natural world, A bear will come up, eat with you, sit with you. All of it. Sasquatches, buffalo will come up, whatever. Step away from fear. Step away from control. Step away from ego. And all of it will fall into place for you. Because that's what life is. It takes me a long time when I travel by myself to travel somewhere, because I'll stop and talk with the bears or the elk, or, if they're there, I pull over. give them tobacco and sit on the road, So they'll come and talk with you. You just got to be patient, They know they're beautiful. You don't got to point at them and say, "Oh, what's beautiful," and sit down there when they're ready. And if you're ready, they'll come and talk with you. They'll help you. They're there to sacrifice themselves to help you, to feed you, to clothe you in the natural way, natural order, natural way of life. Hunting it became different because it became a sport. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. It's just a big ball of wax that has to be sorted out in a different way. I don't know how to do it. But I know that if you sit and talk with them, they know. They know how to help you. But you got to be willing and open to accept that help. And that's what it's about, is learning. I have 2 tattoos on my arms. One's a lightning bolt coming in, one's a lightning bolt going out. And this is the one coming in so I can receive, and this one is so I can give. And that's the difficult part, was for me, because I got my giving one first. So I was always giving, and it was difficult for me to open up to get the one to receive things, because it's hard. It's hard to learn to receive. It's hard to learn to receive that, yeah, that animal's going to come and give its life to you. It's going to help you. It's going to nurture you. It's going to give you your needs or your wants that you want met. It's going to meet them. So, it's a way. It's a way of life. Not a culture. It's not a hunting trip. It's a way of life that we're all here, and we need to learn to give and receive. When you go out hunting, in the separation of what's substance and what's ceremony, life is a ceremony. It's all ceremony. There shouldn't be no separation when you're hunting. If it's to feed the people, it's to nourish yourself, and that's the ceremony. It's between you and that animal, you and the Creator, you and Mother Earth. Even the DNA of that animal is going back into Mother Earth, the bones or the scraps or, excuse the language, even your shit. The DNA of that animal is going back into Earth. So it's not going far. Fish, you can find their DNA in the trees along the creeks and streams and stuff, So, they've swum upstream and died. Help everything. When we're in ceremonies, I don't know how to differentiate ceremonies and way of life. Like hunting is a way of life also. It's a natural way of life. Ceremonies is a natural way of life. It should be. We shouldn't separate how we hunt, because it's all there to feed the people, and it's all there. It's a natural thing. Why should we cause division in between ceremonies in the natural way? Because it's always a fine line, it seems like. Okay, well, I can be intellectualize it and say, okay, we're going to do this for ceremonies, so give me my meat, Or I can say, we're doing this as a natural way of life. As a way of life. And we thank you, for sacrificing yourself to help feed the people, or help clothe us, or help brings that we think that we need to bring into fruition to help our lives a little better so I can help other people's lives better. Ceremonies, it's a way of life. It's not a culture. And it should be a way of life for all, not only Native people, you know. I had an elder when I was 8 years old. His name was Charlie, and he started to teach me things and stuff. And he was a good man. Then he got killed, and I got away from the way of life for a while. And then I came back to it. It's a way of life. It'll change people's lives. It'll help people. It heals people. Grounds people. Gives them a different way to look at the world and to try to comprehend things. And it does make you stronger because you go into the lodges and they're hot and you work your way through all that. You go to the river and you do your dips in the winter and it's cold, so it toughens you up there and makes you be able to handle the coldness more. You learn to pray. You learn to pray to the Creator. You learn to forgive yourself. You learn a way of life that's supposed to be a way of life. You learn the spirits. You learn the spirit world. You learn your vision quest, your chanupa, your pipe. You learn medicine wheel, sun dancing, ghost dancing. You know, you learn all the ways. It's just so much of it. It's just a journey, and you pick up little bits here and there, and pretty soon it makes you who you are. You don't make you who you are. All the ceremonies, all the journeys is what makes you who you are. So you pick up things like the eagle fan, the pipe, and other things to help you on your journey. They're tools, and they help you a lot. You know, it's like the fan, curvatures, electricity runs through it from there to there. So people, they get their electricity starts going sideways like this when you take a fan, you dust them down with the eagle fan and touch them and bring it down. It makes that electricity run straight back up and down in their body. So it helps them heal up a little bit. So, you know, a fan isn't just for look, it's for doctoring. It's for help, and they're good. They're good. It's not us, the people, that's doing it. It's all the medicines around us that we have to learn the use of medicines again. And that's what ceremonies are, and that's what coming into this way of life is learning. I'm a West Coast Longhouse dancer there in Chilliwack. I'm a sun dancer, I'm a ghost dancer, and I became other dancers with other tribes. So there's a lot to learn. You're not going to learn it all. You're going to be part of it. And that's about where ceremonies will help people. You know, it'll always help. If you have the strength and the want to change your life, it's just a path that you can take. When we have our drums and stuff in life, and crossing over and everything, we have that connection. Like I explained with the drums, you know, the drum's round because it represents the earth. The strings on the back represent all the people of the world holding hands. And the drums, the first thing you hear, you know, it's Mother Earth's heartbeat. And it's also your mother's heartbeat when you first come back into this world as a human. And you'll sit there and hear that ba-doom, 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 ba-doom of your mother's heartbeat. And that drum, it always takes you back. It'll always calm you, the sound of that drum. We do have different songs, you know, our songs. We have animal songs. We have Sasquatch songs. bear songs, eagle songs, buffalo songs, all sorts of songs. Connects us back to the animals. And our songs help us carry our true language, because our songs never change. The words in our songs never change. They're always the same word in our songs. So that helps carry our language. Getting back to the way the European people think and stuff, they say, okay, if you don't know your language, you're not a distinct society anymore. But if you know your songs, you're still a distinct society, no matter what the government says. So the songs are very important. To drum, to sing, to have that connection. And when you go to somebody that's passing over from the humanness back into the spirit world, it calms that humanness down enough in them to make that transition fairly simple, fairly easy for them. They're no longer scared of death like we're taught in this world now, Oh, don't eat that, it's going to kill you, Don't do that, it's bad for you. Everything's bad for you. Or you gotta eat this, or eat that. You can't. Nobody's living anymore. Nobody's living anymore because they're all scared of death. And death is just a process. Everything's gonna die. We shouldn't be scared of it. What we're going to try to prolong life for? Why? The Creator gave us so much time on this world. Whether you try to prolong it or not, when your time's up, your time's going to be up. No matter what you do, it's like one person sat there and said, okay, the Creator only gave you so many heartbeats in your life. So go out there and run them extra miles. Go out there and do all that cardio exercise and burn up them heartbeats that the Creator gave you. Think about it. Enjoy life. Enjoy that one little heartbeat, just like the drum. That's what you're here for, is to enjoy it. Not to try to control it or outlive it or come back to the natural world. When you drum and sing to people that are passing over, it takes them back and they remember, and it calms them. Just sitting with them, It's difficult. It is difficult things, There's lots of people struggle and fight, but when you have someone close to you, we say that when someone's close to you and it passes away in the day of the funeral and stuff, watch the weather. If it's a nice day or a clear day, they're at peace and they're not fighting it. But if it's stormy and wintry and windy and rainy, they're fighting it. So put tobacco out and pray for them. Watch that sky, it'll clear up. The rain will slow down, the wind will quit. And that's helping them and helping you become part of the natural process of life and death. In the cultures, there's always different roles for everybody. Like in the West Coast, in the Longhouse, you'll have black-faced dancers and you'll have red-faced dancers. And the black-faced dancers, they get all the spirits off the salt water. And the red-faced dancers, they get all the spirits off the creeks, the mountains, and the streams, the trees. We're the holy men, we're the doctors in the Longhouse. We're the Longhouse doctors. And that's what these tattoos are. They're the red And it took me 38 days and 38 nights of being blindfolded in a longhouse to earn my red tattoos. And then in different cultures, you'll have what they call spiritual clowns. They're called heyokas or contraires. And our role is to, we all have different gifts. We all have real good spiritual gifts. But our role really is to not take ourselves seriously and not, you know, not have other people take themselves so seriously. Try to get out of ego as much as possible. You know, because ego is, whoa, that's hard. I get caught up in it too, a lot. So I got to stop myself and tear it down. But being Heyoka, you got these different gifts. Not all of us carry the same gifts. And a lot of people think, oh, yeah, I'm contraire, you know, I'm backwards from it. No, you don't have a gift. If you're a Heyoka, show me your gift. You know, one Heyoka knows another Heyoka. But it's like a Tibetan monk. One Tibetan monk knows another Tibetan monk. And it's a gift. It's a spiritual gift. We can split the sky. Some of us can make storms go around us. We have a good, strong relationship with thunder and lightning. And the thunderbird, thunder beings. And that's how the Cree gave me the name, you know, Chief Thunderbird Man. No. We're here to try, kind of, to teach the people on not what to do. Instead of trying to teach the people what to do, we're backwards. Saying, okay, well, don't do this, because just because we're doing it this way is trying to show you that you shouldn't do it this way. You know, it's another part of sacrifice. You know, it's like, okay, but we're going to make fun of it. We're going to make fun of the seriousness of it, just to show you that it's not really serious as we make it in our own mind. We're going to take the seriousness out of it by clowning around, or, you know. There's 3 of us over at a nephew's funeral about a year and a half ago, and they had to separate the 3 of us because we was disrupting the funeral. You know, it was February and we're outside the funeral hall having snowball fights and stuff, and everybody's crying and everything else. You know, we're running around cars throwing snowballs at each other. You know, so it's, yes, death did leave a big hole in their lives, but then also celebrate their life, you know, have fun. They don't want us to mourn and cry. And being a Heyoka is a hard job. You know, it is difficult because people don't understand us. They try, as we're told, they'll try to copy us or something like that, and they don't have the gift. You know, they'll just say, oh, I'm a Heyoka also, and we'll look at them and go, okay. Another one. Let's see, what was your name? We'll stay away from you. Yeah. I don't know. We're a dying breed because people's gotten away from the natural part too. Sometimes Heyokas, their gifts, were really connected with that thunder and lightning. There was a kid, he got hit by lightning. He was a doctor's son. And he would get real hot in the winter and go around in shorts and thongs, and then in the summer he'd dress up and be cold, and he'd have his coat on and ski pants and everything, and it just changed him backwards. And everybody tried to work on him, and then the doctor finally called me, asked me to come and talk with him about Heyokas and the Thunder Beans, and then, so put things right in his mind, and all I could do is give him my perspective and my way of life that I have with it, being a Heyoka, because not all of us are the same. Like I can pick up hot rocks and move them around, or red hot rocks. They don't burn me on my hands, or stick my hands in boiling water, and we have our Heyoka ceremonies, so just Heyokas are allowed. They're quite different. They're quite disruptive, but they're quite spiritual. Everybody walks out of there feeling good. Really don't have, it's kind of hard, difficult, because there's so much to say, but there's not so much to say. You got to experience it. You got to really experience it before you have any knowledge of it. Like I try to tell people, you're not a teacher until the one that you taught is teaching. So that's, then you become the teacher. And that's about what like a Heyoka is, Everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to go be a teacher. Yeah, go ahead. You can teach all you want, but if them students aren't teaching the same stuff, then you're not a teacher. And that's backwards thinking, and people don't understand that. They say it's backwards thinking. We say it's the kind of the right way of thinking, and they just can't bend their mind around the way we think. It's a different way of thinking. Can't say it's right, and I can't say it's wrong. All I can say is it just is. Such is life. When I use such is life, some people, I'll use that phrase too when I get a little perturbed at things. Such is life, it's, it's like when I use that phrase, I'm really perturbed. Most people will cuss or something, but when I'm getting really that way, such is life. Then I got to catch myself, because I'm the one overthinking things too. And that's what Heyokas. We'll do that. We'll help you suffer. We'll help you suffer more. You think you've suffered now? Come and hang out with us. We'll help you. We'll get you suffering real good. That's about all I can really say about a Heyoka, unless you're around us. You got to come and. You just can't come and meet one and say, oh yeah, I know Heyokas. No, you got to come and be around us like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, Then you'll have a glimpse of us. So, when it comes to the world and the plants, the animals, as we say, all our relations. When we say all our relations, it means the ones that crawl, the ones that swim, the ones that fly. The rooted nation, the star nation, the four-leggeds like the buffalo deer, and the other two-leggeds, and the rooted nation, so. Our relationship is, when we say all our relations, we're connected to all that. The rocks, the grass, the air, the water. Water is life. Always go out on the land. Some people think I'm pretty crazy, but at times that, I have sat with Sasquatch. I have sat with Bigfoot. And we've talked. And he always, that's always, it's a common denominator. Clear across from BC to Manitoba, when I sit and talk with them, they always ask, why aren't the people back out on the land? Why aren't they out here with us learning to live as we should live, all should live, And that's their common question they always ask me. And no matter where what part of the country they are. And that's what it is the relationship with the land. We've gotten away from it. Uh, we've adopted too many words, like wild. There's no such thing as a wild. You know, we're all connected. You know, if anything's wild, it's us humans, us two-leggeds. We're the wild ones. You know, we're the worst part of the planet. Two-leggeds are, and our relationship has to heal ourselves so that we can sit there and start looking at the planet in a different way. We got to heal ourselves so that we can have that relationship, to have the understanding that everything has a spirit. Even the smallest speck of dust has a spirit. And that you're patient enough and calm enough and open enough. Everything will talk to you. Everything will show you the spirit. Well, you got to calm yourself. You got to get out of this faster world. And you're not going to get there by sitting somewhere and saying you're spiritual. You got to get out on the land. You got to feel the trees. You got to feel the grass. You got to rub that bark. You know, you got to go out and talk to the bears, talk to the Sasquatches, listen to the birds. They'll talk all the time. You got little birds, you know, they call them the creator birds. And they'll come check on you, you know, the ravens, the eagles. I have so many stories with animals and learning to be connected with them, like bears, you know. Eagles, the other day I come walking out of the forest, and me and my friend Ina, and we come walking out of the forest on this trail, and just as we got out to the open, this eagle, he come by and he screamed at us and circled and then flew away. You know, it's those moments that you see and you cherish and you have. That's part of the connection. You know, I've had bears come up and kiss me. I've had bears, I got pictures of a bear kissing me, you know. I got bears at my sweat lodge drinking out of my water buckets. And that's the connection that we still need. We got to put that fear away. We got to put that fear of things away. You know, there's no such thing as wild, and you got to do things to help Mother Earth. We got to do things to help each other. Whenever I cross back and forth over the Rockies, I'll stop at the top of the headwaters of the rivers, and I put tobacco and feed them and stuff and say prayers. So then prayers, they go down, like on this side, they go down to the Fraser River. On the other side, they go Saskatchewan River, and they go clear down, you know, Great Lakes and stuff. So, and then out to the ocean that way. Then you got the other river that runs in there by Fort McMurray and stuff. The Assiniboine. And it runs down through there. So it's all good, you know, it's learning. We're so stuck in a little world that we don't have our connection anymore, and we're stuck in that little man-made world to where we have no understanding unless you get out there. So that's, you know, that's the biggest thing is getting back out on the land, getting back out there with nature, and it'll heal you. It'll heal you up. It'll help. A lot of energy out there in the world. More energy in the forests and stuff than, you know, we're drowning it out by the faster. Our connections is we have to get back connected to it. When we're on the land, we're in our natural world. We're in the natural way of things should be. I drove the other day for 3 hours down a dirt road just to get to the end of the road, back into the east side of the Rockies, to where I say At that end of that road, after 3 hours of going down that gravel road, that road quit. And I say that's where the real world begins again. Is at that road when it stopped. And I was right at the base of the Rocky Mountains, and there's no man-made stuff, no more road, no more. And that's the world that we should have, you know. You find that connection, and you're connected to all. Once you're connected to all, you have a bigger understanding of a lot of things. One time I was out there north of Sheshelt, and I was walking to the ferry going back toward Powell River, and there's a rock come flying out on the road, and I kick it off, and I walk a little further, and it's getting dark, and pretty soon there's a stick out on the road, and I know it's Sasquatch up there in the bush, you know, and I'm trying not to pay attention to him, and pretty soon the sticks get bigger and bigger, and I keep throwing them off, and then pretty soon there's this great big log about 8 feet long and about that big around come flying out there on the road, and I go, okay. So I roll that one off, and I climb the bank and get up on top there, and I'm sitting there, and Sasquatch comes and sits beside me. And, you know, like I said earlier, he asked the question, how come you are not out on the land anymore? Why aren't the people out here with us? And I say, because they've lost their connection somewhere. And there's some of us trying to get it back, and there's some of us that are still lost. You know, we don't know how to get it back. But we're trying. And, you know, I thank you for always getting my attention and being with me. And our connection is, you know, they're connected. They're connected like we should be connected, the Sasquatches. You know, we should model things off our life with them, because they're not wild, you know, they live in the natural world. And as we should all live in that natural world too. The Creator made the world natural for us. We're the one that's tearing it up and making it unnatural. I was there above Chehalis, way in the mountains, and there's these about 40, 50 eagles. They kept circling. And I was watching them, and they circle and circle, and they're coming up over the mountain, kind of going across this ridge. So I sit there, I look, and I watch them. And then I see Sasquatch. It's an older Sasquatch. He was going off to die. And I look kind of across this little valley and stuff, and here comes 3 more Sasquatches down through the snow. And they were going down up into that canyon to where that Sasquatch was headed to die. And the eagles were all there guiding them, and, you know, the other Sasquatches could see the eagles, and they knew what was going on and everything. And, you know, their relationship is quite powerful. You go to Chehalis, there's still the old Sasquatch trails. You can still hear the Sasquatches, you know, and be with them. You know, don't be scared of them. Don't let ego get in your way. You know, that's a big thing, is ego. Sasquatches are really kind. They're really smart. They survived a long time. And I was in Manitoba at a Sundance once, and all the dogs started barking and stuff. I'm in a teepee, and this other guy comes in, and he wakes me up. He goes, "You're from BC?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "You got that Sasquatch medicine?" I go, "Well, I don't know." He goes, "Well, there's 2 of them outside the door here in the teepee. They want to talk to you." So I gave him a cigarette, and I said, "Well, they talk to you first. You go talk to him." And he goes, "No." So I got up, went out there, and we sat against the teepee. It was about 4 in the morning. We're just sitting there against the teepee talking and laughing. Everybody in the whole camp was scared of me from then on, you know. It's like, there's the guy that sits with them Sasquatches, you know. We all seen them too, you know, and it's like, well, it's part of life. They're funny. They'll get your attention when you need to. When you're open, when you're ready, they'll come and talk with you and sit with you. They're quite knowledgeable. They're just like the bear medicine, you know. Anything a bear eats, you can eat. Anything a Sasquatch eats, you can eat, you know. A bear will get sick, he'll go eat things to heal himself up. And the Sasquatch will do the same thing. So if you get in there with them, they'll teach you a lot of different things. Which plants to eat, which ones not to eat. Yeah, how to make your bed out in the forest. How to survive. Not really survive, but how to be natural. I gotta always catch my words because I get them confused with the European way of thinking, I guess. That's like my grandmother. My grandmother sat there and I'd do things and stuff, and one day she slapped me. And I go, what are you doing that for? And she goes, you gotta start learning to think like an Indian. And I go, what do you mean? She goes, just shut up and start thinking like an Indian. Because I was trying to do a carving. I was carving. And she wanted a pole with 4 bears on top. And I made them bears just beautiful. She just threw it outside in the yard. Let's try again. So I carved another pole with the 4 bears. And I had the 4 bears standing out in different directions. And she looks at it. She throws it out in the yard. Then the third one, I go there. I got the 4 bears standing up with their backs against each other looking out. She throws that one out in the yard. And she goes, you got to start thinking like an Indian. And slap me. And it hurt my feelings, you know. So I'm doing my best. So I'm walking back to the house thinking and thinking and thinking. And it hit me that we have plaques on the West Coast to make our bears in. They're carved into a plaque. They're flat. So I had to learn to think like an Indian to make a flat plaque bears around my pole. So that's kind of woke me up on how to try to think in a different way. You know. So learning how to think like an Indian was a big hard step for me. It still is at times. I got to catch myself a lot. My message to the governments and corporations. Stop creating fear. Stop creating wars. You can have greed, take all you think you need to take, but in the end, it's worthless. You destroy something, it's destroyed. Everything, you know, like I said, in the early 90s, all the people came out, oh, you gotta drink bottled water, you gotta drink water, you know, they're all running around drinking all this fancy water and stuff. I said, quit buying water. Quit buying that water. You know, because people thought I was crazy. I said, no, it's an in thing. Quit it. And they haven't. So now wars are going to break out over water. Our water's polluted. You know, they're still selling lots of water. Water's a natural gift. Water's a gift from the Creator. Water's a gift from Mother Earth. Water is what sustains us. And they keep taking it. A lot of people already suffering. You know. They call them, even in the big cities, they call them food deserts because you got to travel like 20, 25 miles just to go to a grocery store. In that food desert. You know, in a city. And the same, you got to travel that same distance to get a bottle of water. Like, what's the matter with that? How come you guys are brewing so much water that you can't even drink out of your tap anymore? Quit taking things and not taking care of it, is what I should say. Take care of it. It's there for you. You know, water's good. Resources like oil. Okay, I used to say quit drilling for oil, because that's the lubrication of Mother Earth. That's what helps all the rocks and everything slide more gently, and you take all that oil out, and then it's a balance of the earth too. You know, because if you get a tire and a rim, you got to put a weight on it to balance that tire so it runs down the road right. So you got Mother Earth here, and you're taking this weight off of her from oil. It's going to cause her to wobble. So they're taking all this stuff out, the fluids out of her, and she's going to wobble. We're not going to have no choice. So we have to learn to put that back somehow. We got to learn that money is not God. Gold is not real. We got to quit putting values on things that are materialistic things that in the end doesn't mean nothing. You know. Yes, we do need some tools, but we should use them as tools, like cars, airplanes, you know. Not for, oh, I got a plane, you know, or, you know, I got 10 cars. You know, we don't need that. We need to quit. We need to quit the greed, and we need to quit thinking you should be prosperous or have lots. Yeah. You know, the government's just a corporation. They're no longer governments. They're just corporations. And they should smarten up somehow. Should get back to the natural world instead of trying to figure out how to destroy it. And that's about it. Let's just quit. There's other options for us to do things. Think how we're going to do that. Yeah, somehow.
Ho ho.